Welcome to the world of probiotic foods. This is Cultured Food Life with your host, Donna Schwenk.
Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining us. And this week we're going to be talking about how important it is to have fermented foods during the holidays when you're having those special celebrations, and how much it strengthens your immune system and supports you and keeps you healthy. And I'll explain why during holiday times when we're eating those extra foods that we normally don't have, how that can harm your immune system. But there's ways to help that and to combat that. And that's what today's podcast is about. Now, for many, many years, and way before I found cultured foods, we would travel to my mom's house in Virginia for Christmas every year when the kids were little. And even when they were grown, we would go there every year. And it was a 24-hour car drive. And at that time, we lived in Kansas City, and we would drive all night to let the kids sleep. And we would always be very exhausted when we got there because we'd been up all night. In anticipation of our arrival, my family would make buckets, and I mean buckets, of sugar cookies. It was my grandma's sugar cookie recipe, and it was a Christmas tradition. And we would eat them the whole time we were there. Inevitably, someone in the house would always get sick, and then it would spread throughout all the grandkids, the adults, everybody would get it. We'd get, some kind of sickness, a cold, and it happened so many times every year. It happened every year we would do this. And we would always say, somebody always gets sick at Christmas. And we just thought it was because it was that time of year and we were close proximity to each other and spreading germs. And those cookies were so addictive that we couldn't stop eating them. Now, my husband told me that one night he was so tired and sleepy and not hungry, but he still dragged himself to the kitchen to get another cookie because he was addicted to it. And it was always like this. We did this when the kids were younger, and we don't do that anymore. But fast forward many years later, and I know so much more about the immune system, how it works. I found cultured foods. And then I discovered that as humans, we naturally crave a sweet taste. It is an essential part of balancing the other tastes found in nature, such as salty, bitter, and sour. But it felt like we were crazy addicts at Christmas time, wanting to eat sugar like we never did during the year. And then I discovered what happens when you eat a lot of sugar. First and foremost, your bacteria shifts dramatically and makes more sugar-loving microbes that make us crave sugar like crazy. Because if you'll pay attention, no matter what it is you eat, you'll start craving it if you eat a lot of it. And eating a lot of sugar, along with the key players in our reward system in our brain that makes dopamine, it sets us up for control problems. That feeling of pleasure we get from food and other substances is made from dopamine. And dopamine receptors are all over our brain, including in an addictive substance such as sugar brings on a deluge of dopamine. It just like it does with anything else. So guess what happens when you eat a lot of sugar? Yep, those levels also surge, and we need more to stay satisfied. Our dopamine receptors become very sensitive, and they want more and more and more. So neurotransmitters, namely epinephrine, norepinephrine, serotonin, and dopamine, have been shown to play a major role in controlling and maintaining homeostasis within the gut system in terms of nutrient absorption, blood flow, gut microbiome, local immune system, and overall gut cravings and what's actually happening inside the gut as it changes depending on what you're eating. So hang on, I'm not saying you have to give it all up, but I am going to tell you what you can do to help bring it into balance. So first, let me tell you what goes on inside your body. So sugar drops your immune system by 75%, and that affects your immune system greatly. So, and it does it quite quickly after you've had it. So one of the reasons my family always got sick at the holidays was we had way too much sugar, and it lowered our immune system's ability to keep us well. So let's talk about this in regards to vitamin C. In the 1970s, Dr. Linus Pauling, one of the greatest researchers in the terms of microbiology, discovered that vitamin C helps the body combat the common cold. But what he also found was how sugar can do the opposite. So vitamin C is used by white blood cells to engulf and absorb viruses and harmful bacteria. White blood cells need to contain 50 times the concentration of vitamin C as would normally be found in the blood around it. So sugar or glucose have a very similar chemical structure to vitamin C. So when you eat sugar, your cells hungrily take in the sugar, thinking that it is vitamin C. And the 50% concentration of vitamin C in your cell starts to drop, and your immune system's ability to fight a virus is reduced by 75%. It can take 4 to 6 hours for the vitamin C concentrate in the white blood cells to go back to normal and to be able to function at their highest level again. So it's not a great idea, and especially if you're sick, to eat any kind of sugar, because the white blood cells can't get past the sugar in those cells to do their job. So this is why we got sick every Christmas. Our bodies lost their superpower strength to keep us healthy because we're eating way too much sugar and crashing our immune systems again and again. Every time. We just did it over and over again. So if you'll start paying attention, you'll notice that if you've gotten sick all of a sudden, but if you've had a lot of sugar, you should pay attention and see the correlation. Those little cells need those vitamin C in the cells and not sugar in order to keep our immune system functioning at its best and highest level. Now, here's another thing. Too much sugar or a high-stress lifestyle can create an environment inside you that encourages the growth of a disease-causing bacteria called Candida. Candida takes up a very small portion of your body, doing an important job of helping you digest things like heavy metals that your normal digestion system cannot handle. If your gut flora is killed by antibiotics or an unhealthy diet, this leaves more room for Candida to spread out, take over larger areas, and when you don't have enough good microbes to keep it in check, that's what happens. And then you get a slew of other problems to deal with. Inside your body is a thriving ecosystem, good bacteria and yeast, and good yeast, not just good bacteria, but good bacteria and good yeast, that keep you in check and keep everything going in the right direction. So these healthy bacteria and yeast help you digest your food, absorb nutrients, regulate your blood sugar, control food cravings, and manufacture vitamins and minerals. The secret to helping them is feeding them probiotic-rich foods and lots of prebiotics in the form of fruits and veggies, lots of soluble fiber. And I'm not saying that you can never have sugar again, but you won't crave it like before if your body is in balance. And I have so many recipes that can help that I have on my site that are all for free and that not only satisfy your sweet cravings, but replenish your microbes. Then if you do eat sugar, those busy microbes will help reduce the effect on your immune system, and you won't be an addict like craving sugar, because those probiotics, those microbes will help you to balance things. It took a little bit of time to grow into this new lifestyle, but you're going to feel like it's effortless after you do. So let me give you a few things that can really, really help you. Okay, the first thing I would do every day is consume kefir for breakfast. It is the best way to get your day going. I consume it every day. It sets my day off right. It balances my hormones, my blood sugar, and goodness, I don't know what I'd do without kefir. I can tell if I haven't had it for a couple of days. It makes a difference. There are 50 plus probiotics in kefir, and it is a mighty force in your life, slowly changing the whole world inside of you. Lately, I've been doing the little easy kefir in little pots, which it's just a powder form of kefir that's made from kefir grains. And you just put it in there with whatever milk you want to use. It can be non-dairy or dairy. Put it in there for 24 hours in the milk, and it makes these little kefir pots. And then you can use a portion of that to make more. And it just does it again and again. It ferments in 24 hours. And you can even make chocolate milk kefir. And boy, is it yummy and tasty. I've done that too for kids that were wanting, because it eats a lot of the sugars out of the chocolate milk and makes a yummy kefir. It's so nutrient dense that it will give your gut and brain what it needs to calm down those dopamine receptors, and it also strengthens your immune system. And if you have it every day, you'll see how well it'll help you sail through cold and flu season. It is a very powerful cultured food, and it's my favorite of all the cultured foods. Now, let me talk to you about Bifidobacterium. This has long been regarded as the most beneficial member of the human gut microbe. And these beneficial bacteria digest dietary fibers, help prevent infections, activate your immune system to fight pathogens, and produce vitamins and other essential chemicals. Having lots of bifido feeds your other bacteria too. HMOs, or human milk oligosaccharides, are specific carbohydrates and super prebiotics. And consuming HMOs is one of the best ways to make more bifido. Okay, and no, you're not drinking human milk, but it's a prebiotic produced explicitly by fermentation that creates more bifidobacteria in your body. You really need bifido. That's the most important one for your immune system. And the gut microbiome can change extremely quickly. So we suggest putting the HMOs in a kefir smoothie. And I have a great kefir smoothie recipe for this. It's called Get Better Kefir Smoothie Recipe. And I'm going to link all these recipes in the description below on the article. And you can go to that and see all of these recipes. Now, L-reuteri yogurt is another excellent probiotic food for building up the immune system and shortening the duration of colds and flus. Now, L-reuteri is a well-studied probiotic bacterium. And since antibiotics can kill L-reuteri, replenishing this microbe is a great advantage in helping you stay healthy. Most people are missing L-reuteri, and restoring it with the yogurt, the superfood yogurt that we've created, is one of the best way to get really high counts of L-reuteri and allow it to colonize you again. So many people, I think it's like as high as 80 to 90% are missing L-reuteri. When every animal, every species on the planet has it, but if you take an antibiotic, you kill it. So it's really important to replenish it. L-reuteri can produce antimicrobial molecules that can inhibit the colonization of pathogenic microbes and reestablish a healthy microbiome. L-reuteri can benefit your immune system. It can reduce the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines, which promote regulatory T cell development and function. Now, having lots and lots of T cells that go after and alert the body to the viruses and infections is controlled by the number of good bacteria you have. So the more good bacteria you have, the more T cells you have. And that's very important because, you want as many helper T cells as you can get. And they do two things. They alert the body that there's a foreign invader, and they also go after the foreign invader and attack it. So you want lots of those. Now, it can also help to strengthen, L-reuteri can also help to strengthen the intestinal barrier of the gut, which can lead to leaky gut. And also it helps with IBS and keeps all of that gut sealed and keeps you, that's your barrier to the outside world. Because when you have leaky guts, you start leaking food particles and things into the bloodstream, and then you get all kinds of problems from that. So not only does it help to strengthen the gut barrier, but it also helps to strengthen remote tissues in other areas like the duodenum, because L-reuteri lives up in the upper gastro area, so it also protects that area of the body. I've seen it work miracles on my daughter's sinuses that she used to always have trouble with. It's very effective in that because as you increase the colonization of L-reuteri, you do many things. It's not just strengthening your immune system, it's also helping to control appetite. It helps with blood sugar and unhealthy food cravings. And I can really attest to that because it does that. I am not near as hungry when I have L-reuteri sometime during the day. It just seems to make me, I don't know, not as hungry. I don't seem to have cravings for bad food. It just seems to balance that. And because L-reuteri makes oxytocin in the brain, that may be the contributing factor. I don't know what it is that does that, what process in that bacterium that actually does those things, but it works very well for me. It was really funny because the other day I'm like, ooh, I haven't had that in like 4 or 5 days. And I really need that again because I can feel a difference in me when I don't. And it's a fabulous yogurt. It's super fun to make and eat. It's a little bit more tricky than like kefir, but it's well worth the effort. And I can help you because I have all the understanding of how to make it because I've been making it for a while now, and it is worth the effort. Okay, so let's talk about kombucha. Now, let's say you overindulge in some sugary treats. The next day, you want to make sure that you have some kombucha. You don't want to have it you don't want to have it when you're having the sugary treats, because if you have kombucha when you're having a bunch of sugar, the yeasts that are the good yeast, the probiotic yeasts that are in kombucha are going to feed off the sugars you're eating. And they're not going to make the compounds that you need. They're just going to feed off that like in a flurry. So it's not going to benefit you as much. You need to have it the next day when you don't have that in your system. And it is a powerful detoxifier. It will stop those sugar cravings really fast. And it will also help your liver, because sugar is very, very hard on your liver. And kombucha will help support your liver functions. And it will also supply you with a very potent probiotic yeast that fights Candida and keeps not only the good bacteria in your body healthy, but the good yeast too. So whenever I have an overwhelming food craving that I know won't be good for me, I always drink kombucha first. And then if I still want it, I can have it. But I never do it until I have some kombucha, and it's super delicious too. And it works very well. I even have a candy cane kombucha that lets your microbes eat the sugar from the tea. And you'll see a ton of holiday flavors with that. And I will put that in the link description below, because the sugar is not for you, it's for the microbes. It eats that and makes the flavor in the tea. And you get the sugars are reduced by 85%, I think, in the first 4 days. And then as it continues, it almost goes to nothing, to like 1 or 2, depending on if you second ferment it. But even after that, the sugars are almost gone. So kombucha is great for helping with detoxifying you from the sugar that you've eaten, and also to helping bring back things into balance and reestablishing your microflora. Now, cultured vegetables. Just a spoonful is such a big deal of cultured vegetables. And I'm not kidding about this. A spoonful's a huge amount. And it's time everyone knows about how wonderful these vegetables can do. Researchers in Missouri found fermented vegetables can decrease anxiety and stress-related behavior in people who consume them. It works on boosting the adrenals and strengthening the immune system due to its very high vitamin C content. Fermented veggies can help protect against food poisoning and toxicity, and help you digest all the foods that you eat with these powerful veggies, or even the juice works if you just want to take a spoonful of juice. I just had a pickle with lunch. I always have it before I have something else. I just like munching on it. But one pickle is huge. One spoonful of the juice is huge. I have a great recipe that's got berries and cinnamon and kraut. And I know, don't knock it till you try it. It's delicious. It's a great recipe. I'm going to link that description below, but it's a really fun recipe too. One that helps satisfy the cravings and also helps to diminish the cravings. So it's fabulous for that. Now, another great one is fermented garlic. It works incredibly well. Garlic is great for keeping the immune system strong. And this one we use fermented garlic and honey. So it's really good. It actually tastes a little bit like candy. I know that's hard to believe, but it's very, very good. And since garlics are a prebiotic, there is no surprise that a British team looked at using garlic as an antifungal and probiotic together in an effort to respond to the increasing resistance of Candida to prescription medication. Because whenever you have an antibiotic, you kill off the good bacteria that keeps Candida at bay. The researchers found that garlic and the probiotic that were used together created a synergistic effect and inhibit candidal attachment occurrence, was their scientific term. They concluded that the combination of lactobacillus and garlic should provide a preventative treatment regimen to addressing the growing problems with candidal infections. Now, honey is a prebiotic which feeds good bacteria, and garlic is an antifungal, which also kills fungus like Candida, and is also a prebiotic. So it's a wonderful bonus for your microbiome. It helps with any kind of virus too. One of the things people always tell you to have extra garlic when you're getting sick or trying to fight off something. And our recipe, it's super, super simple to make. It's just garlic cloves and honey, and it lasts a long time on your counter. And it's a very effective remedy. It actually tastes really good. Now, the last one I want to talk about is kefir soda. Now, this is a great way to bring healthy microbes into your gut by replacing that harmful sugary and alcoholic drinks that most people like to drink around the holidays. But if you replace it with kefir soda, you get the beneficial bacteria and good yeast and loaded with probiotics. And I hear stories that those who include kefir soda in the diet have received many health benefits. Kefir soda is loaded with Bifidobacterium and Aspergillosis. And Aspergillosis is a probiotic yeast that is also found in kombucha and is the one I was talking about in kombucha. And the benefits of the billions of probiotics in this delicious drink are just fabulous because they create more bifidobacteria, which boost your immune system, and they also go after pathogens with the Aspergillosis and the other bacteria and yeast that are so good. People are saying they'll never go back to unhealthy sodas that just wreaked havoc on their bodies and especially their liver. It's really delicious and super easy to make, and it will reset those cravings and help your body detox, and you will actually really feel it. And it just gives you something bubbly and fun to drink that's really, really enjoyable around the holidays when you're looking for something. So those are some of my suggestions, some of the things I actually do those things. And it's a fun way to go through your holiday seasons or all year round. These are great foods that we have all the time, and they can make a really big difference for you and help you sail through the holidays and stay healthy. So have a great week, guys, and incorporate or try like one of those. See how you do. They're super fun. You don't have to do all of them at once or all of them anytime. You can just even try one or two and it will make a big difference for you. So have a great week, and we will see you next time.